a father and son, how are you going to have time to homeschool your kids? Don't you have all these other clients and members you need to take care of? And I said, so what you're saying is I should kind of delegate the taking care of my kids so that I can take care of my clients. I should abdicate the responsibility of turning my kids into awesome fucking humans to someone else who I don't have the same beliefs in, 100, probably the complete 180 opposite beliefs in, so that I can go and have a couple more clients. Like, that doesn't make sense to me. And you're going to let someone else do it because you're busy. So it's just excuses. And thinking that you're not qualified or something. Who the is more qualified to teach and educate your kids?
Ain't no motherfucker in this world could do it like me. Open up your eyes and insert a little rising. You don't have to love me, you don't have to like me. Got enough love in myself, in my psyche. You should have the same in your brain nightly. If you wanna taste, bitch, you can fucking try me. If you wanna hate, bitch, you know where to find me.
What's up, freaks? Welcome to another episode of the Steve Eckert Show podcast. And today we are talking about homeschooling and the weird, odd, strange kids that go through homeschooling, or at least that's kind of the stereotype of homeschool kids. We're going to break down homeschooling, how we do it, why we did it, what the process was like, and what it's like. How does it fit into our freak freedom lifestyle that we have on today's episode of the Steve Eckert Show podcast, which is a show on how to flip the switch and have a no excuses, badass mindset guiding you to adapt, overcome, and destroy the obstacles that are preventing your success in your family, your fitness, your business, so you can stop being a little bitch, get your shit together, and start living life on your own freaking terms, all while you create your own personal freak freedom lifestyle. And really, when it comes to your lifestyle, we kind of we had a vision of what we wanted our freak freedom lifestyle to be. And there's an entire episode on what is a freak freedom lifestyle, how to create your ideal lifestyle. We did a whole episode back, so check that one out. And we did that several years ago. And tell you the truth, we kind of hit it. We kind of got to that lifestyle. And we said, all right, now what's the next level of this? Because you're never going to be satisfied. It's never going to be good enough. We're high performers. You're always going to take things to the next level. So we said, what is missing in this piece? Where's our freedom being held back? Because we're all about freedom in our lifestyle. Where are we being held back? And what we came up with was the amount of time that we had spending with our kids, also the type of education they were getting, what they were learning in school. And that was when we made a decision. And while we were away for a Thanksgiving trip in Death Valley, that our kids weren't going back to school. We kind of were talking about it, throwing the idea around for a couple weeks. We thought it was pretty much coming pretty soon. And we were out there and we were having a good time hiking the sand dunes. It's now become a family ritual. A couple episodes back, we talked about family rituals and setting those routines and rituals of your family. So check that out. And that's how the Death Valley thing started. Every Thanksgiving, now we go back to Death Valley and hike the sand dunes. We spend about a week off the grid on an RV. And that was when we decided to do it because we were having such a good time there. We only had a couple of days out there working in the sand dunes in Death Valley. And we realized that we wanted to stay a couple more days. We were just having a fucking blast. We wanted to stay there a few more days. So we call up the school when we get to phone reception because it's not very good reception. We call up the school and they're like, well, you've already missed a certain amount of days, and the kids already missed a certain amount of days in school, and they sent out some letters right before we left about truancy, which I still don't even know what the fuck it means. I thought, and anyway, I had to explain to these people why my kids were going to be missing more school, and they're questioning me almost like I'm on trial about what I'm doing with my kids, what I'm choosing to do, and how to spend time with my family in this awesome experience that we've now created into a yearly ritual that's one of our favorite trips and places to go on the planet. And I'm having to explain to this fucking stranger who, first of all, probably is overweight because I've met most of them, and most of them are overweight in the school. They don't have the same morals, values, and ethics or beliefs that I do. They don't have the same type of lifestyle that I do. They don't believe in the same things I do. They definitely don't have the same kind of discipline or energy that we teach and instill in our kids. And I'm having to explain to this motherfucker what we're doing while we're away. Like, why are we staying there 2 extra days? Because we fucking want to, motherfucker. Because we want to hike on the sand dunes for a couple more days. Because we're connecting as a family. And so we made that decision. We looked up right then. I spoke to one of the men who kind of mentored me through the homeschooling process, Matt Bordeaux, however, I'm not even sure how do you say it. How do you say it, Tyson?
Matt Bordeaux, I think.
Matt B, we'll call it. And he kind of walked us through the process, and we literally did it right there from the RV, filled out the paperwork that we need to fill out, and said we are officially assuming full responsibility. I'm talking about full freedom and responsibility for our children's education. And we haven't looked back, and that's just the way it is. They will never be going back to any public school. And we're not in any kind of charter program. We don't have to check in with the government and pass their testing and their agenda and what they think needs to be taught. Like, my kids don't need to know. What am I going to say? My kids don't need to learn in school how big a T-Rex's claw is. Like, that's not going to help them start a business when they're older. It's not going to help them make fucking money and pay their mortgage and learn about taxes and sales and marketing and any kind of real life world skills, unless they're going to be a fucking dinosaur hunter or something. That's a different story. But we're going to teach them life skills. That's what we're going to work on in our homeschooling. Not what they think they should be learning, the useless facts and memorization that they're going to be learning. And when we first made the decision, I think it was an aunt of mine, someone asked me, they're like, well, how are you going to have the time to homeschool your kids? Don't you have so many clients and you're always traveling and doing speaking engagements. You do the one-on-one private coaching with entrepreneurs. You have the Freak Father Alliance, the men's mentorship group coaching program. You have the Infinite Freak Fitness Formula, which is the online fitness program. And you're doing all these events, the Project, the Squire program, which is the father and son. How are you going to have time to homeschool your kids? Don't you have all these other clients and members you need to take care of? And I said, so what you're saying is I should kind of delegate the taking care of my kids so that I can take care of my clients. I should abdicate the responsibility of turning my kids into awesome fucking humans to someone else who I don't have the same beliefs in, 100, probably the complete 180 opposite beliefs in, so that I can go and have a couple more clients. Like, that doesn't make sense to me. And then I asked Matt B, I asked him, so what is the downside to homeschooling, if there's any? Like, it's people misunderstand how the way homeschooling can be and how much freedom you can have. Like, we create our own agenda. We'll go into some of those things here in a second. But I asked him, what is the downside of homeschooling? And he said, the downside is the downside where you should absolutely keep your kids in public school. And this is why public schools need to always exist. The downside to it is that if you're a shitty parent, those are the people who really should be sending their kids to public school. Other than that, there's no reason not to homeschool them. And you can make excuses about your schedule and this and that. You're so busy in your busy life and your career and your business and your money and your job, and they're all just excuses. You won't be the first, you won't be the last. I was able to figure shit out. And then think about it. You're so busy doing other shit now while you're taking your kids for like 8 hours a day, putting them somewhere else with someone else leading them and teaching them 8 hours a day for 13 years before they even maybe go to college. Now, let's say another college are going full-time, but just even before college, 13 years, 8 hours a day, 5 days a week for 13 years. That's over a decade. That is going to be the biggest influential factor on your kids and their success in their life. And you're going to let someone else do it because you're busy. So it's just fucking excuses. And thinking that you're not qualified or something. Who the fuck is more qualified to teach and educate your kids than you? Because who better to educate them? I'll tell you, the game of, like, in school, all they're creating is zombies and a bunch of obedient, nice little servants is what's being created, taking the fire, the freak fire out of the children, taking the curiosity, taking the energy, taking the freedom out of them. Like, they get no ownership. They don't get to build on any mastery or learn real life world skills. There's zero fucking freedom. Like, you are the most qualified fucking person capable of educating your kids. You know them better than some chubby teacher is going to know them. You have the same values as them. You have the same beliefs as them. You know how they think. You know how to read them. You know their body language. You know how to read their emotions more than anyone else in the fucking world can. They're your kids. You've been around them, hopefully, a good amount. Learning, it doesn't have to be on subjects and from a teacher. Who could be a better teacher than a parent, than a father to your sons and daughters? Like, holy shit. And then the freedom that it comes with, like, we have freedom in the way we're doing it. Like, part of our homeschooling today is recording this podcast. Tyson is right here behind the camera. He's got headphones on. He's telling me if I'm spitting too much on the camera. He's telling me if I'm too far away and it's blurry. Or if I get too close and it's here, and he's guiding me what to do. He's reminding me, maybe if I'm forgetting about a story. He's really snoozing and drooling on himself over there on the side, but that's besides the point. But he's keeping this rolling. He sets up all these cameras, so literally I could walk into the recording studio here and it's set up, or it's supposed to be. It never fucking works out that way because I always have to help out with some shit. But for the most part, he sets up what I need to get set up. The files are up the way they need to get. He gets the camera the right angle, the microphone out, the wires out of the way that my headphones are set up. He has another set of headphones over there. This is homeschooling. This is discipline. This is having responsibility. These are real world skills. He's also then getting to sit here and listen to me fucking babble that hopefully there's at least a couple of bits of information that he's going to take and learn something from these. What better homeschooling than that? He'd be in school right now watching some fucking video about, I don't know, Moby Dick or some shit, about some whales or some video when the teacher doesn't feel like teaching and they just put a video on. I remember those days. And you just sit there and watch it for hours. Instead, he's sitting here, setting up a recording, making sure it's recorded, then going to help on the back end with whatever needs to get helped out with in the businesses. Like, that is homeschooling. That is learning. Like, think of Matt B also always talks about like art class. You go to art class and you're told what to draw and how to draw it. Homeschooling, we don't even call it homeschooling. We call it home lifing because we're just teaching our kids how to live. But just for the context of this conversation, for you to understand what the fuck I'm talking about, we're going to call it homeschooling. In homeschooling, you get to decide if you even want to draw, when you draw, you decide what you want to draw and how the fuck you want to draw it. That's the difference between school and home educating. You're not zapping the creativity or the freedom or the expertise or the genius that's hidden inside of you and boxed up in a little corner, in a little box, told how and when to do stuff. And then people say, oh, well, aren't homeschooling kids usually going to be weird? Like, how are they going to socialize? How are they going to socialize? Well, first of all, I remember when I was in school, how many times a day you were told to be quiet, stop talking, sit there, be a good little boy. It's like you're in fucking prison. Think about it. The school buses that they have, you look at prison buses, they look exactly the same. You drive by most local schools, they look like a fucking prison. They're chained fences around them. Look like prisons. You're out in the yard for an hour a day. You get some air in the yard with all kinds of rules and supervisors, wardens walking around and guards walking around, AKA Karen teachers walking around telling you, no, don't throw the ball, don't dodge the ball. You're going to hurt someone. You need to have fairness and equality and all this other stuff. Like, that is socialization under their rules. You're told who you're allowed to talk to, when you're allowed to talk to them, what you're allowed to talk to them about. You have no fucking freedom, no voice. You can't have any open conversations. Like, why? And you're only able to have conversations and talk to people your own age. So I'm 27. So technically, according to the rules of school, I should only be able to have 27-year-old clients, 27-year-old friends, conversations with 27. Why are you looking at me? I'm just giving an example. Oh, you're saying I'm not 27? You want to race, motherfucker? So I'm not allowed to have that. So you're just told to be obedient, only deal with people your same age, the same grade, and then we're going to compare to these people and tell you what percentile you are. You're in the 97%. What the fuck does that even mean? According to whose standards? The motherfucker that was asking me why I'm staying in Death Valley, according to their standards, their percentiles, whatever the fuck that even means. I never even understood what that meant. I couldn't give two shits what it meant. It's the same like social structure as prison. is what the school system was really like. And that does not transfer into real world socialization skills. Like me and Tyson talking before this is better socialization and conversation skills. Even though we talk a lot of shit, we're sarcastic, we have fun, is much more socialization skills than out there being forced to have these meaningless conversations told to be quiet at school. Like conversations start in the fucking home. Conversations start at the dinner table. Conversations start in the gym with each other, with other people that see me and Tyson in the gym together, and being able to have a conversation with an adult. Imagine that. A kid who can have a conversation with an adult. It's unheard of. But they're going to not be socialized. I don't want them to be socialized according to the standards of society these days. Socialization is from the society standards. I don't want them to be socialized according to those norms. Fuck no. We're going to go to the gym together, and guess what? Adults come and talk to Tyson all the time at the gym, just asking about how he's able to stay so consistent and go to the gym every day and not in school, and able to talk and have these conversations when we're sitting in the sauna, having a conversation with other men, with grown-ups, having a conversation with grown-ups at 12 years old. Why is that not allowed? It's certainly not going to have those skills in school. When you're doing it on your own and home life, you're able to prioritize what gets done. You're able to teach them time blocking and time management and how to work on their skills that they want to work on, create things they want to work on, create their own schedule, have some freedom to work on the things they want to work on, but also teach them the things they probably need to work on. And then sometimes letting them just go and do their own thing and staying out of the fucking way. There's sometimes they'll be on their own doing some self-studying or working on some projects on their own with us out of the way, because we'll probably fucking ruin it. Just the way the teachers would ruin that art project. Like, a motherfucker, I don't want to draw your flower or your horse. I want to go draw a bunch of zombies running through a field freaking chasing the sheriff. That's what I want to draw. But no, you can't do that. That's not the assignment. That's what we're talking about. Part of homeschooling is also just having responsibilities around the house. Conversations around the house, chores, the regular basic chores around the house, but on a schedule and with consistency and discipline, and building agreements within the family, having meetings within the family. We actually did a whole episode. Next week's episode will be all on family meetings that we have and the different types of family meetings, the type of dynamic for that. We have checklists that we need to do both on the personal side, professional meaning the schooling side, the personal life side, meaning the home, the chores. All that stuff is built into it. It's basically like running your own life, being a self-sufficient, running a business almost. That's what homeschooling is all about. And then earning rewards and celebrating those victories and having challenges and discipline challenges and work challenges. And when we're working on a project, if we get this thing done by this time, we're going to have this reward, and then celebrating those rewards. Like, they've gotten snakes as rewards. They've gotten weeks of just complete, absolute freedom week. We called it rewards. They've got a freaking hairless guinea pig. They got a second PlayStation 5 as rewards on stuff that was based off of homeschooling, home lifing that they've done, especially when they help us with businesses like this. They're helping me with this podcast, which helps us to grow the business. And they see how the podcast then gets broken up into different pieces, and they help to do some of the social media posting and some of the edits and video edits and picture edits and creativity their own way without even having to get approval, just going and putting it out there. Like, who cares? Have some fun with it. And then celebrating those victories. That's what they're learning in home lifing, in homeschooling. And we do things a different freaking way. And we have files where we share about the different things they're working on. They work on, Tyson's our gunsmith of the family. He knows how to take apart like 30-something, 40-something guns with being blindfolded. He cleans them all. He sharpens all the knives. He keeps spreadsheets on the home security systems and alarms and cameras and flashlights and lights and all of our survival gear. When do the things need to be charged in the house? What batteries need to be charged? What type of battery is in it? When was the last time it was charged? And he has a rotation, keeps it stored on spreadsheets. He keeps track of all that stuff, of all of our survival gear, of all of our MREs and freeze-dried foods. And we could like to keep 12 months stock supply of everything like toothpaste and toilet paper and Q-tips and vitamins and supplements. He keeps track of all those and sees when they're low down or getting close to 12 months and when do we need to order some more, and then he'll just go and order them. Like, this is home. Think about it. It's like running a business, like doing inventory of a freaking business. And so we also have a file. It's called just the purpose. Like, at one at the top of our file, we have files we share about home lifing. The purpose of home lifing for us is to have it's in alignment with our personal freak freedom lifestyle. So everything in life should fall underneath of what is the freak freedom lifestyle, that ideal life that you want to live, and everything should fall in alignment with that. That's the purpose of this. We have goals. The goals that we have is for it to build solid fucking humans that don't make excuses, that have discipline and resiliency and are able to have responsibility and hold themselves accountable. That's the purpose of home lifing. Also to work as a team, work as a unit, to help each other dominate the day and dominate life. Like, we are in charge of raising and educating our kids, not some stranger down the road at school. Not a fat, broke stranger that has different goals, different knowledge, different wisdom and values and beliefs than you fucking have in your family. Like, I spend my days helping and coaching other people while other people attempt to help and coach my kids. It doesn't make sense. It's time to lead them ourselves. Like, why would we teach strangers and clients and followers on the internet and spend time on that and not our own fucking kids? Like, it doesn't make sense. That's not the best way of spending your time and creating this ultimate ideal freak freedom lifestyle you want. Also, home lifing is giving them experiences and opportunities that we never had, and a freedom that we never had, and so many opportunities and so much potential and possibilities and breakthroughs. It also just lets us spend more time with our kids to be a bigger influence in their lives. So I said, if you're not a shitty parent, like Matt B told me, you should be their biggest influence. You should be their fucking superhero, teaching them useful things that they want to learn, and also things that they need to learn that they don't even know that they need to learn. Teaching them how to think for themselves, how to get along with other people, how to get along with you better and the family better. Let them figure out and discover, what do they have personal interests in, where you could try different things that you're unable to try in school. Teach them how to earn money, the value of a freaking dollar, how to save money, how to value money, how to invest, how to contribute to the family. Teach them how to have a self-sustaining lifestyle, to be self-sufficient and be able to work alone when needed and become independent and self-educate and self-direct themselves and create their own personal schedule where it builds resilience in them and gives them responsibility, which builds self-confidence. Teaching them to think differently and think above and beyond what other kids their age or anyone, even adults, are thinking, where we can take ownership and master these skills they're working on. Teach them to take their ideas and put that shit into action and go try it out. See what happens. Let's make that the project of the day, the project of the week. And then seeing things through to the end and getting results and outcomes that you're looking for. Really just giving them ultimate fucking freedom, mentally uncaging them from the shackles of the public school system. That's what we're talking about. Reading the books they want to read. We're reading Bezos Kulian's Man Up. We've read Extreme Ownership by Jocko and all Jocko's other books, all David Goggins' books, emotional intelligence books, Wild at Heart. What's the one right up there? Warrior Poet from John Lovell. The Way of Men by Jack Donovan. I'm just looking at some of the ones that Tyson's read recently. Book called Manhood. Wild at Heart, I said. Like, those are the kind of books we're reading. Books that are going to help them personally develop and work on their skills, their communication skills, their leadership, their emotional intelligence. We're learning to work with spreadsheets and run a business and create your own business. Like, we have the Infinite Freak Fitness Formula, which is the last workout program you ever need. Tyson has the kids version of that. Whenever a man comes on board with the Freak Father Alliance, the men's mentorship program, they get the Infinite Freak Fitness Formula automatically included, and then they get it free for their kids 16 and under that Tyson runs. And he created the sales pages for that, the videos for that, the PDFs, the lead magnets, the upsells, all the sales funnels, the spreadsheets, the tracking. He's done all that. Really, literally running a business as homeschooling, if you want to call it that. Shit that would never have an opportunity to do in 6th grade, 7th grade, whatever the hell grade he would have been in. That's what we're talking about. Learning about sales and marketing and leadership and social media and how to use spreadsheets and Google Drive and how to write emails, how to communicate properly, how to start conversations, how to be self-sufficient, Midge she's worked on gardening and chickens in the past and learning the lessons, like putting so much time and money and effort into the gardens and seeing it fail and having to deal with that and bounce back from that. Literally, those fucking gophers, those little motherfuckers, they go under the ground and build like tunnels on the ground. We literally watch them pull the crops that are growing into the ground. I thought that shit was only in the cartoons, like a Bugs Bunny cartoon. We literally watched it happen in the backyard. Like they pluck it right out of the ground, one after another. They killed the entire garden. We had like 30 something different types of plants growing, and there ain't many of them left. But you learn lessons, what works, what doesn't work. And now they're talking about raised beds and whatever other ways you need to do it. I don't know that shit. That's what she's studying. That's what she's learning. Learning about chickens and horses and running a chicken coop and how to deal with a horse and horseback riding and how to take care of horses. And she got a job with a neighbor across the street going to take care of their chickens so it could help her learn about chickens so we could eventually have chickens and she could deal with us getting our endless supply of eggs because we eat shitloads of eggs. I have eggs every night for dinner. 6 or 7 nights a week, I'm having eggs for dinner. So we want to have our own chicken coop. She's working right now, actually getting paid at 9 years old. She's 9 years old, right? 9 years old, getting paid from the neighbor to take care of their chickens a few times a week. And when they're away, even more often. Learning skills. She's doing that in the middle of the day. When she would normally be in school, she's making money, but also learning the skills of the stuff she studied and all the books and all the studying she's done and YouTube videos that she's done to help her learn about it. That's going to then eventually help us become more self-sustainable on our property here at the Freak Fortress. They have morning routines. They do meditation. They do daily debriefs the same way that I have my clients send a daily debrief, which is like a check-in of their day, a daily reflection of the day. They're sending that in. They're doing journaling. Of course, reading. Tons of reading every single day, writing, of working out, obviously, with working out and training every day. They're doing always things that are physical, things that are competitive, things that are creative, things that are artistic, things that can make money, ways of saving the family money. They help out with our current businesses. We talked about, we were working on some volunteer stuff. They've done garage sales. And we have a scheduled set meetings with them, which the next episode is going to go all into family meetings. If you need to make sure you watch that one, it's going to be a huge game changer for you and the flow and the rhythm of your family. But these are just some of the things. We talked about the guns and the knives and ordering supplements and creating spreadsheets and all this other stuff. Doing inventory in the house and the RV and keeping the area clean, the yard clean, cleaning up, making sure the gym is organized and clean. Along with the basic chores of whatever, garbages and dishwasher, all the basic shit that they already should be doing. This is teaching them how to live. This is teaching them how to be self-governed. And they have different reading categories of their books. Personal development books, business books, which are like leadership, sales, marketing. They have personal interest books, which are hobbies. Then fiction books, which most of them are about the end of the world or EMPs and shit like that. Then books that learn new skills. This is what it's all about. This is freedom. This is what homeschooling is. And here's the funny part about it. I forgot to mention earlier. When we filled out the form with the government, it's a perfect spot to kind of wrap things up here. If you want to take full responsibility of your kid's education, you have to name a director to the school. So I'm technically the director of this school. You have to give it a school name. And that's, if they ever graduate high school, they would get a diploma from your school name that you created, from your director, that'd be me, and I decide that they're ready to graduate high school, and they would get a high school diploma from me, from this school that is registered in the state of California as an actual educational institute. And you don't need any certificates or requirements or be a teacher or anything like that, because they can't tell me how to teach. I could teach my kids the way that I know they need to be taught and led. And our school is called the EFA. That is the Eckert Freak Academy. So if they ever graduate high school, it'll be from the EFA, the Eckert Freak Academy, literally on their diploma, because we do things our way. That was one of the ultimate missing pieces of our ideal freak freedom lifestyle that was missing. Once we hit all the goals in the lifestyle we wanted, we said, all right, what is the next level? And home lifing was the next level that created this next level of freedom. And then once we hit that, we said, all right, what's next? How do we take us to the next level? And that was when we started creating the integration of businesses together with the kids' fitness programs, tying in with the men's program, with the women's program. And we want to integrate it all together as a family and do everything as a family, like these podcasts and working together and just building this fortress building this compound with all of our families in the future together. Like that's the next level, the long-term vision of the Freak formula. But it all started with this freedom that was required in homeschooling. So I'm just going to tell you, you probably should go check it out. It is a next level of living. It's not as hard as you think. It's much more fulfilling being able to spend that kind of time with your kids and actually show them the way, teach them the way, and be the fucking way. In the EFA, the Eckert Freak Academy. If you have any more questions about homeschooling, just send me a message, put it down below. I can hook you up. I can give you some more ideas about how we break down our day, how we schedule stuff. And then also make sure to check out the next episode coming up on setting up family meetings. We actually just did this in my men's group, the Freak Father Alliance, where we together broke down how the family meetings need to go, and we helped them schedule it and implement it. It was all about implementation and getting shit done and then holding them accountable for it. So if you want information about the Freak Father Alliance men's mentorship program, send me a message below. Also, let's talk about it, and I will see you next time on the Steve Eckert Show podcast. And in case no one told you yet today, you are fucking awesome. No excuses.